How's it going, guys?
Let me put on the timer.
How's it going, guys? This is another episode from 127 Podcast.
Episode number...
And we are finally going to be reviewing
20?
the entirety of Wandavision.
They took the numbers off the front of the episode, so I don't know anymore.
Literally just did the intro.
Shit.
We're talking what?
Yeah, what are we talking What are we talking about?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to 127 Podcasts, where today we'll finally be reviewing all of...
Sopranos.
We'll finally be...
Yeah.
We'll finally be...
Yeah.
We're finally going to talk about WandaVision. It finished.
Seen The Sopranos. We're gonna review it.
Have you seen Degrassi?
Degrassi? I've seen a couple episodes in high school.
Can you do something about this right here?
How's it going, guys? Welcome to 100. No, he goes more like he goes like.
That's Doctor Strange. I was doing Wanda.
Sorcerer Supreme goes. Welcome to the 127.
I once again...
Dormammu. The Popeyes has been taken from your from your country.
What was that?
The noise effect?
Ting, 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 ting. Dormammu. Little Nas X. C is for country.
Spread it.
How's it going, guys?
WandaVision.
WandaVision.
Vishon?
Vishon and Lawanda?
Vishon and Lawanda.
So
Yeah,
we're
brother.
finally gonna wrap up our thoughts on WandaVision in its entirety, but special beginning shout out to Vishon, because that's
Vishon,
an
yeah.
integral part that they left out of the show, but
Vision is half black.
due to the
This is part of
vibranium.
Wakanda. Vibranium, yeah.
Vibranium.
Vishon.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. What do you guys think?
Well,
Like
when's the last time we talked about it? After
We-
the
I
2
don't-
episodes, right?
Yeah, we haven't talked about it since the first 2 episodes.
And I was in a different mindset.
I wasn't. I knew from the beginning you guys were idiots.
No, first 2 episodes, rough. Didn't like it. I personally don't like black and white things.
What?
Wow, that was racist.
It's super racist.
I only love my browns, my yellows, my
My
fellows, my purples.
Jesus Christ.
Put Vision's baby face on my face right now. Black and white film. I don't like it. So the first
Racist.
episode's
Holy shit.
absence of color and absence of color. I don't like it.
But what is the absence of color if not color persevering?
Black people.
Black and white.
This is derailing. Let's set it back a bit.
Yeah, hey,
Set it back, set it back, set it back.
Let me use my
Set it
time
back.
stone.
Anyways.
Dormammu.
Dormammu. Yeah, first 2 episodes, did not like it. Glad I stuck with it. Ralph Boner.
Yeah, that was right.
Ralph Boner. Really? Overall, great. White Vision. Found out he was Vision. Took off. That fight was kind of funny because they were really going at it, going ham. And then Vision's like, "What's your purpose?" He's like, "I'm here to kill you, Vision." And he's like, well, "I'm not really Vision." And he's like, "Oh shit, you're right." Wanda, now Scarlet Witch. I'm gonna keep those thoughts to myself.
let's just say all those anime women that we talked about 3 episodes ago.
Yeah, overall, I liked it. It was great. I hate that I have to wait a year for the continuation of it for the Doctor Strange movie.
I knew it was gonna be good. I was enjoying it from the beginning. Yeah, I mean the episodes were slow, but it was still something new that I hadn't seen in a bit. So I liked it. I think the way they chose the writing and the different plot twists was pretty cool. Would have liked to see Mephisto or Chthon, but I understand that for a project that's gonna end, it's kind of hard to really put that in. Definitely disappointed in Ralph Bohner. I hope that's not the last of Evan Peters.
It's gonna be the last. It's gonna be the last we're gonna see him.
If it's the last,
Way to get your money, dude.
I don't know what to do, but yeah, it was good. I liked how at certain points it really went comic booky, but then kind of came back. And I like a lot of just the references that they do, a lot of the similarities to certain stuff, and the background work on that show is crazy. I mean, yeah, Scarlet Witch is cool. I honestly didn't see that character really coming back after Endgame, and now that's all of my theories and everything for the future films are revolving around her, which is good. I like that because it made me really care about this character. Vision too. I honestly did not care that Vision died. I thought it was funny, and
shit, we didn't do the spoilers.
I do like how he.
That's what you said. Spoilers about was Vision dying 3 movies ago.
I was gonna say, if they don't know that by this point, that's their fault.
Yeah. The whole Vision stuff was awesome. White Vision was awesome. I'm glad the kids are dead. I just think it wouldn't have made sense if they're not gonna introduce Chthon or Mephisto. I just think they could do that later. And look what happened. If you for some reason didn't realize there's gonna be spoilers at this point, spoiler end credit. You hear the kids calling out to her after they've been eradicated from existence. They're calling out to her somehow, and we were watching theory videos, and yeah, I mean that could seriously set up a good.
If she's trying to find a way to bring her kids back, can't she bring Vision back?
What I mean more is I'm glad the kids are gone, so that way when she does bring them back, there's a whole nother plot besides WandaVision going on. It's solely just focused on that, and so they can introduce those magical beings like Chthon or Mephisto or Nightmare.
And just quickly, I was talking to Jeff yesterday, and I was saying, obviously Marvel knows that everyone knows the comics. There's going to be people that flesh out the comics, explain it for, casuals like myself that watch it. So I was telling them, I'm like, but when they're making these shows, I don't think they're making it for the absolutely well-versed people in the comics. They're making it for that general audience, the casual, because it makes a majority of it. And maybe a lot of them don't know that those 2 kids are Demon Spawn, right? Mephisto. So we still didn't get Mephisto. So I was telling Jeff, either they're going that route, targeting the casuals, and there's planting that idea oh shit, her kids didn't die. They're still out there. And then they're going to be oh, psych, it's a red herring. It's actually Mephisto fucking with her. Now knowing that she's powerful, trying to coax her into something. But that's what me and Jeff were talking about. Sorry, Jeff, you can go.
I thought it was kind of an underwhelming episode, despite I think it was because of all those fan theories that were kind of hyping me up for something big, and that's what kind of killed it for me. But I did enjoy it. I liked her costume at the end. I thought it was really cool. I hope that's one thing I really like about the new Marvel stuff is the costume design is pretty good compared to when they first started off. Yeah, the Ralph Bohner thing really kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I'm hoping that because everybody in there is becoming a mutant, that he ends up becoming Quicksilver anyways later down the line. Because
Ralph Bohner, a.k.a. Quicksilver.
Yeah, because honestly,
Pietro.
Man, Evan Peters' Quicksilver was the biggest thing from the X-Men franchise, I mean, you can't get back Patrick Stewart or Ian McKellen or Hugh Jackman as their characters. So, I mean, and it basically made me realize that Marvel, even though they've acquired these new things, they're not going to bring over those actors. They're just going to let it die, you know? And I read a thing saying, this morning actually, that was saying basically Kevin Feige doesn't want anything big happening in the TV shows, like major game changing, because the people who don't have access to Disney Plus, he doesn't want them to be lost when they're watching the movies.
So the shows are just context.
Yeah, context, side stories, stuff like that aren't going to affect the major roles. I mean, yeah, Wanda becomes the Scarlet Witch and she gets her costume and stuff. That's a big thing, but in the movies they can just say, oh, she just kind of went off and did her own thing. Now she's this, you know. The only thing that I think they would have a hard time explaining is, what's her name, Monica Rambeau, getting her powers, you know, but I'm sure they can figure that out for the movie, some sort of recap or something like that. That kind of like killed my hype for the other shows, because it's like they have 6 different shows before the next movie. I'm not counting Black Widow. And it's like they're not really going to introduce anything, you know. And that kind of like made me think, well, maybe in Spider-Man No Way Home, there's not going to be any big things. Tobey Maguire, there's not going to be Andrew Garfield. It's going to be a standalone story. And then Multiverse of Madness is really going to be that one.
No, Spider-Man would be a big thing because that's their last film, I think, together.
Well, no, but I like, but still, like, because of all these rumors coming out about it, and like everybody saying, like, yeah, like Tom Holland came out and he said, yeah, that's not happening. I don't know if he's just like straight out saying that because they told him to say that, or whether it's true, but I kind of feel like it would be a little more obvious if it was. Like right now, the No Way Home things are kind of sketching me out. I think, honestly, if they're going to have other actors come through, it's only going to be for cameo appearances in Doctor Strange. I really don't think it's going to be a big part of the MCU going further.
Multiverse stuff, how would they go about that in Spider-Man, though? Like, what would be...
The webverse?
So he's just randomly going to make, like, something...
No, I'm saying he could be working with somebody.
Who?
Doc Ock.
Anybody. Doc Ock, yeah.
Oh, Doc Ock could be
like the Spider-Man PS4 game.
Yeah.
You know,
like...
like...
this...
We're getting into the Spider-Man.
Or Doc Ock.
We're not talking about Spider-Man yet. You shut the fuck up over there.
Yeah, we're getting into it.
So WandaVision. I do understand what you mean about, you know, slowly putting in kind of small hints of new information. Yeah, they could just easily recap WandaVision in a movie. They could easily just be like, you know, it could be, I don't know, Andrew Mackie, and he's like, what happened to the flying chick? And they're like, oh, she went evil or something, you know?
Nick Fury. I don't think they'll spend time recapping.
And it makes sense with what you're saying about dumbing down, because that's honestly, I think, what has made Marvel so successful, or the MCU, is that they're masters at, like, dumbing down situations. Except for Ultron. Ultron still sucks. But yeah, they've mastered that art of, like, really dumbing things down, so that way those casual audience could come into the doors and be like, oh,
but
okay,
still keeping
runes, okay, cool, you know.
Still keeping the knowledge people on their toes.
But then when the fans, the actual fans, are like, oh, did he say runes, right? You know, then you get into, or not only that, but I think WandaVision really fleshed out and, like, showed the power that the MCU has already with Easter eggs. You know, watching the show and going back into other Marvel movies to see, like, magic related things has been so much fun. Like, just Doctor Strange alone had so many things in the background that, like, we didn't comprehend as casual fans. And now you go and it's kind of getting fleshed out and you're like, okay, it's cool. You know, Shang-Chi's going to apparently have Mandarin. Okay, cool. Yeah. We're going to see what happened. Like, they can easily dumb it down and be like, oh yeah, we don't know who that guy is. I killed him. Or they can be like, oh no, this was a subplot, whatever. But, you know, I think this show kind of just kicked off my hype for the other shows. I do understand that most of them are not going to have big multiverse change. But I am excited because it's like, the more context I have, the more ability I'll have to actually care about somebody like Bucky Barnes, which I don't give a shit about. I really don't care about him at all. He's got a metal arm. They literally, in Civil War, they made him look so bad. He threw a full punch on at, Spider-Man? And he just twisted it. Like, after that, I was like, okay, Bucky Barnes sucks. Like,
yeah, but Spider-Man.
I don't care. He sucks.
But see, here's the thing. It's like, for me, I didn't care about Wanda, or I didn't care about Vision at all before that. I thought they were just kind of like weird side characters. But watching this, I was like exposed to the other comics that they've been in, their expanded story and stuff like that. And now I like those characters. I don't see that happening for me in the Winter Soldier.
There will be misses. There will be, like, I really don't care about Black Widow, the movie.
I don't care about Black Widow. I don't care about Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I just don't.
I don't care about Loki even. I mean,
I care about Loki.
See, I think, I don't know. It's just like everyone kind of is over, like, hyped.
I've learned from this show that I can't bleed in too much, because I think me and Alex have been watching it with our friend Noah. He's been on this podcast, and we've been watching it every week, and we have that habit of, after the episode is out, we search YouTube for any theory
videos,
which I can do because I love theories and stuff like that. But for somebody like maybe Jeff, like how he's saying, that's just going to be way too much. Like, everybody overhyping Loki, that's going to turn me away, And especially when you get to it and it's horrible or not what you think, like, that's going to suck. So I've learned from this show that probably shouldn't be doing that every single episode, but, I had fun with it.
I saw a bunch of, like, depressed people on Twitter after the show because we didn't get that Magneto cameo. We didn't get that Luke Skywalker cameo. We didn't get that Doctor Strange cameo. And, like, I was like, yeah, I feel you. But then the people were like, that was our own doing. I was like, oh, Mephisto. And then episode 8,
Ralph
I'm like,
Boner.
There's no way there's going to be Mephisto now, at least in this series, maybe. And then, after this episode, I was just like, okay, there's still hope, but I don't know. For me, I never feel the hype that I go in when I'm watching something. Like, that stays at the door. That's just me as a person. The only time, don't want to repeat it, the only time hype got to me was Last Jedi. Don't want to say it. Where I actually felt myself getting depressed.
We're actually contractually bound to not talk about Star Wars anymore, especially The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
The Last Jedi.
There you go.
I actually felt myself getting depressed. But other than that, like, when I watch things, like, I always just sit there and I just enjoy it for what it is. So when I watched this episode, I was just, like, in the moment, like, oh, shoot. And then when it ended, like, the last scene with her, like, in the cabin, I saw her and I'm like, oh, okay, but we're not getting that random appearance. And then I saw her, like, in there, and I was like, oh, shit. And then I was fine. But I do get all the theories hyping this shit up.
Yeah, that was my problem, too.
Yeah, but I don't know. I've never been allowed myself to get caught up with hype.
Well, the only thing, too, is that they were building up in this show. She's like, oh, I know an astrophysicist that's going to be here. And she kept saying that, and no one ever fucking showed up.
Well, Episode 7, I saw something, a quote from one of them, from Feige or one of them, and where they said, like, yeah, Wanda's a one-off show, but Wanda's story is not over whatsoever. There's so much more Wanda content. So then that's when I started realizing, like, oh, so this shit that they're kind of planting doesn't have to come to fruition in one season.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think that's what kind of helped quell my expectations, I guess. I'm like, oh, okay, so this does probably reference Fantastic Four, but they're not gonna expand upon it. They're just planting seeds. So that's how I approach it. And like, they were kind of, I think Marvel was definitely doing damage control throughout. I think they did see the hype and the expectations, and like Paul Bettany came out saying they're gonna be really disappointed and stuff. Like I think they did see the hype and they were trying to quell it a little bit, but I don't know. That's how that shit's gonna appear in the shows, and they've kind of made it pretty clear that they don't have to reveal everything in one season.
Yeah, I'm happy about that, you know, because for the longest time, like you said, we kept getting closer and closer to the end, and I was like, dude, you can't do Mephisto like this. Like, you can't do Nightmare, Chthon, you can't do these people like this. You can't do Fantastic Four like this. And it just made sense, but
Cat was in the crew.
Yeah.
It was really cute. I had to stop.
Okay, never mind. And, but I do appreciate, yes, like, the little sprinkles, like, I was really scared that they weren't going to bring up the Darkhold again, and it was cool to see that it's now in her possession, you know? So, like, that small world building, I hope is going to pay off.
I wouldn't say small world. I'll say Wanda made me realize there's not separate teams working on, hey, you guys do this, you guys do, like, no, it's a giant fucking machine.
Yeah.
So they're like, hey, we're going to reference this space engineer, because that's going to be our Fantastic Four, but we're not going to talk about it anymore in this. We're just planting it because we have that planned 2 years later.
And the thing is like they've done that throughout the entire series. It's like, okay, one thing referenced or one thing in the background of Iron Man 1 in this one scene is now super hella important 10 years later in Infinity War. Or, hey, you remember that one concept that popped up in this movie? Well, it's like they're really good at planting those seeds and then making it work. It's like they've planned these things like 30 years in advance. And I still feel like things that have been put in those older movies are still going to be important in the later movies. That like, oh yeah, remember this one thing? Like, I don't know.
They're lizard people.
And like how I feel like them saying, I feel like
you're in Big Cedar Rapids.
I feel like Monica Rambeau saying, "Oh, I know a engineer," doesn't really hold weight. They're like, if you didn't watch this episode and didn't catch that 2-second line, it's not going to impact you when they show up Reed Richards. Like they'll probably.
What if it's Beast?
Or Beast. They'll probably have Monica Rambeau interact with this character regardless when it's time for this character to show. So even if you miss that first line. So I feel like, yeah, they're using these shows to just sprinkle shit like, hey, look at, we got this going on. It's not what you think it is, or is it? And then they fucking leave and never touch it. So Black Widow's exception. I don't know what the fuck that's gonna talk about.
I don't care.
That's probably the end credit scene. Cause
you can give me spoilers.
Because Marvel seems to have all their ducks in a row for a reason. This is going to come out at this time. We're going to show this for a reason. So that's the only glimmer of hope that I'm carrying to Black Widow. I'm like, well, everyone watched Endgame already. We know what happens. Why are they still going to show this? Especially after Endgame. So I feel like either they're just using it for her family characters because they're going to maybe carry on later. Because we know Black Widow dies.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they're just using it so you can get used to these characters because they're going to be part of something else later.
Do you want to see Taskmaster? That'd be cool.
I wish he looked different.
Yeah.
You got Nick Cage.
We're going to have him as Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Dude, okay. Side note, before we wrap this up, I heard that Bella Thorne was going to be the new Ghost Rider.
Where the fuck did you hear that?
Like all over Instagram.
Oh, shit.
On those, like those rumors.
That is like, that would be the biggest, that would be the first L that they ever take on picking actors. Besides Inhumans. We don't talk about Inhumans. That show sucked really bad.
Hey, I'm glad they heard, the fake rumor of Jennifer Lawrence. I'm glad that they probably saw all the depression that hit.
I'm sorry, Jennifer Lawrence, but no. Stay away. Please.
Yeah.
Please, my brother. Please.
And hype is gonna ruin that too because everyone wants Krasinski and
Dude, if I see Krasinski stretch his fucking arm, I'll be like in the theaters, I'll be like
so if it's anybody else, it's gonna cause an uproar, but at the same time we did this to ourselves.
Okay,
Marvel never said that, so I think they see that.
Okay,
maybe they're playing it smart, maybe they're kinda shooting the shit. They're like, hey John, what do you think? We're trying to go for a younger guy, but You guys want to do this? I don't know, but
John's like, can I bring the Quiet Place into this universe? And Steve Carell, please.
Steve Carell. Dude.
Steve Carell would play the Thing, dude. Oh my god! They should get Bruce Willis. They should get Bruce Willis.
No, Steve Carell, all awkward, just standing there,
Yeah.
like all big, like.
I've heard that
Let's go, guys.
I'm the best rock boss.
Oh my god.
If you ever play
That's
Thing,
terrible.
good luck.
Wait, okay, for Thing, do you want like suit, like the old movie, or do you guys want CGI?
Nah, I think he's gonna look like Korg from
That's what I'm thinking.
Thor.
I don't mind that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Korg is cool.
I mean, we have Groot.
Yeah.
CGI, like it never takes me out of it. Rocket. We've seen how CGI looks now. It's not gonna take you out of it.
I think his name was Shitter.
Okay. All right, we're done with this.
Shitter.
An end.